What if Deku had All for One? Chapter 5. Deku was sat on a bench, listening to the water coming in and out. He closed his eyes and remembered what had happened with Bakugo. Since then, Deku had been trying mental exercises to try and control his power. Deku took a deep breath in, feeling the cool sea air enter his lungs. I had to clear my head, Deku said. Deku stood up and began walking down the beach. How can I stop it from activating? Then it hit him. I've been doing it wrong. I need to figure out how to turn it on, Deku said. Deku looked around, then held out his hands. Okay, what am I thinking when it turns on? The word survive flashed round inside his head. Okay, then let's try that, Deku said. Deku held out his hand, then began repeating I have to survive over and over again in his head. After a little while, it worked, and the crimson lightning flickered out of his hand. Okay, that's awesome. Now how do I turn it off, Deku said. Deku waved his hand around for a second, trying to just shake it off. I thought that wouldn't work. Wait, if I use I need to survive to activate it, then surely the opposite would work to stop it, Deku thought. Deku closed his eyes and repeated I am safe, over and over again. Slowly the sparks faded. Wow, that worked? Deku looked down at his hands. It's almost like it's alive. Deku clenched his fist and began walking home. I will control this darkness and make it mine, Deku said. Deku walked home ready for his next day of school to begin. The next day, they were on a bus going to the USJ. You know what, Midoriya? I really respected what you said the other day. That seems like a massive burden to carry. You told us everything. That was pretty manly, dude, Kirishima said. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I thought everyone was going to treat me differently after then, said Deku. I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, just knowing that you are trying to keep us safe is enough for me, Kirishima said. I think we are pretty similar, you and me. What do you mean, Deku said. When I was younger, I hated my quirk, and even later in life, I hated how weak it was. I know you don't like your power, and I can understand why, but don't give up on it. Deku smiled, then thought about something. Kirishima seemed like a great person with a heroic heart. He'd have to do a little bit more information gathering, but Deku might just have the perfect thing to make Kirishima stronger, or more accurately, All Might had. The bus pulled up and the students got off. Okay everyone, this is the USJ, Aizawa said. This is where you will receive training for dealing with rescue missions, said 13. They all walked inside and the teachers walked to one side to talk. Isn't All Might supposed to be here? Aizawa said. Apparently he did too much hero work on the way to school today and is now resting in the teacher's lounge, said 13. Oh, I guess we will have to deal without him, Aizawa said. Hey, Mr. Aizawa, what's that? Kaminari said. Aizawa spun around and looked at where the student was pointing. In the center of the plaza was a black portal. What the? Deku said. But before Deku could finish his sentence, he fell into a portal that had opened up under his feet. Midoriya, Mr. Aizawa said. He ran over to where the portal had been, then looked over to where the other portal was. Dozens of people were walking out of it. Those are villains. Stay back, Mr. Aizawa said. The whole class was in shock. Not only was there villains, but Deku had completely vanished. Aizawa leapt into battle as the students panicked. Meanwhile, Deku got to his feet. He was in a pitch black room. Hello? Anyone there? Deku said. His voice echoed around the room. There was no response. I've got to get out of here, Deku said. Deku activated 2 sludge hands, but stopped when he heard a chilling voice from the darkness. Hello, Izuku Midoriya, All for One said. Deku's skin crawled at the harsh voice. I'm sure All Might has told you about me, All for One said. Deku's eyes went wide. Though he still couldn't see anything, he knew who was speaking. All for One? Deku said. Very good, All for One said. Impossible. He said you were dead, Deku said. My death was greatly exaggerated, All for One said. Slowly a light began to turn on and Deku could make out the figure of a man in a suit and a breathing mask. Why did you bring me here? And where is here? Deku said. Oh, I just wanted a little chat. Now it appears we have the same quirk. That's incredibly rare. You know I've been alive for over 100 years, and in that time only one other person has ever had this power. Of course, I killed them before they could do anything with it, but with you, I wanted to try something else. You have felt it, haven't you? The overwhelming hunger. It won't fade unless you take a quirk. I can give you as many as you want. You will never be hungry again if you just join me. Deku gulped. The hunger was intense. It almost stopped him from sleeping some nights. Maybe just one. Never. I'd never join you, Deku said. Oh, what a pity. What if you ain't going to use your power, then you don't need it, All for One said. All for One held out his hand and crimson lightning poured out of his palm. He grabbed hold of Deku's head, trying to take his quirk. Deku squirmed and kicked to get free, but he couldn't. The heat on his head grew and grew until it was burning hot. Survive, Deku said. Crimson lightning began pouring out of Deku's hands and across his body. Deku reached forward and grabbed hold of All for One's disfigured body. Everything went black. No, not now, Deku said. What's going on? What have you done, boy? All For One said. Deku turned around and saw All For One. I don't know what it is. I think it's a reaction to our quirks connecting. Same thing happened with All Might, Deku said. Deku turned and saw a figure behind him. It was a shadowy version of the sludge villain. What the? Deku said. Ah, interesting. So it shows the people who you got your quirks from. And you only have one? Pathetic, All For One said. All For One spread out his arms, and behind him thousands of shadowy figures rose out of the floor. Deku's eyes went wide. He couldn't see the end of the crowd. You monster, Deku said. When Deku said that, a sinister smile spread across All For One's face. Let's end this game, All For One said. All For One began walking towards him, eventually grabbing Deku. As soon as he did, the dream faded away. They were back in the real world, with their crimson hold still fighting. They kept pushing harder and harder until the pressure got too great and they were both thrown back. Fine, if you won't join me and I can't take your power, then I'll just wipe you off the face of this planet, All For One said. All For One raised his hand and it began to expand. Kurogiri, make sure to bring his body back to UA, but send a message, All For One said. Suddenly a portal guy appeared in the room next to Deku. Deku jumped towards him. He looked like smoke, so he had no idea he could even grab him, but he had to survive. Deku manages to grab hold of the metal brace and let out all of his power. Crimson bolts filled the room and wrapped around Kurogiri. The villain screamed, but Deku didn't let up. Eventually Deku jumped to the ground and opened a portal back to UA. Meanwhile, back at UA, Aizawa had been crushed by the Nomu. Deku appeared pretty much exactly where he left, making everyone around him jump. Deku, where have you been? Uraraka said. Don't worry about that. What's important is that the portal guy is down, Deku said. Deku looked down the stairs and saw Aizawa getting crushed by the Nomu. Thinking fast, he opened a portal underneath Aizawa's body and walked him through it. What the? It's Kurogiri's quirk. The hell happened? Shigaraki said. Deku pulled Aizawa through the portal, but Nomu didn't let go. Panicking, Deku slammed the portal shut, cutting off the Nomu's hand. Deku bent down to put down Aizawa. When he stood up, he felt a major chill down his neck. He turned to see Nomu looking straight at him. He's fast, Deku said. Nomu punched Deku on the side of the head, sending him flying down the stairs. Luckily, before he hit the floor, Deku transformed into his sludge form. He went back to normal just in time to hear something from Shigaraki. Kill him, Shigaraki said. The Nomu appeared in front of Deku. Instantly, Deku put up his arms to defend, but the Nomu's punches tore through them like tissue paper. The bows not even standing a chance. Deku was flung away, but the Nomu ran after, grabbed Deku by the foot and slammed him into the ground. Deku rolled over just to see a massive foot coming for his head. Instinctively, Deku threw up a portal, sending the Nomu's foot into his face. It didn't seem to do anything, however. Deku slammed the portal closed, cutting off the foot. However, Deku's achievement was quickly useless when within seconds the foot grew. The Nomu stamped down again, but Deku barely rolled out of the way. He then let one of his incredibly broken arms fall on the Nomu's foot. There was a slight pause, then suddenly the massive villain was surrounded by an intense storm of crimson lightning bolts. Shigaraki's eyes went wide. This was not the plan. Slowly, as the lightning thickened, Shigaraki could see the broken arms of Deku heal, until finally the lightning stopped. Deku stood in front of the Nomu completely unharmed. Nomu hit him again, sending him flying. When Deku got up, there was no sign of injury. Warp Gate and Super Regeneration, huh? These are very powerful, but not good enough to beat you. Deku opened a portal and stepped through it. Don't worry, I'll be back, Deku said. Deku stepped through the portal, instantly arriving in front of All Might and Nezu. Young Midoriya, aren't you supposed to be in class? All Might said. Villain attack in the USJ, come now, Deku said. Without another word, All Might leapt through the portal. I'll tell the other heroes and we'll be right over, Nezu said. Deku and All Might appeared back in the USJ, to the terrified look of Shigaraki. Oh no, Nomu can't win. He doesn't have regeneration anymore, Shigaraki said. Young Midoriya, please go find the rest of your class and gather outside, All Might said. Yes sir, Deku said. Deku made a portal and stepped through it. All Might leapt at the Nomu with a massive punch. This was countered by the Nomu, but its arm buckled. The key to victory was the super regeneration shock absorption. Without regeneration, Nomu can't absorb as much damage, Shigaraki said. So you are the villain who has been giving my students such trouble, All Might said. All Might released a barrage of punches, each of them deviating to the Nomu. You were fools coming here, All Might said. All Might punched the Nomu in the side of the head, forcing it to the floor, then followed up with a blow to the back of the head, knocking him out. All Might turned to Shigaraki. Your turn, villain, All Might said. Master, help me, Shigaraki said. Suddenly, silver goo enveloped Shigaraki and he disappeared. Meanwhile, with All For One, so, you failed. That's okay, just try again, All For One said. Shigaraki stood up. Thank you for protecting me, Shigaraki said. Shigaraki left. Then All For One called the doctor into the room. Dr. Kurogiri needs to copy his quirk. Get to work, All For One said. Meanwhile with Deku, he had used Warp Gate to gather all of his classmates outside. As soon as he finished with the last one, Principal Nezu arrived with the pro heroes. Is anyone harmed, Nezu said. No sir, said all of Class 1A. Very good, stay here, Nezu said. Pro heroes went inside only to see All Might solemnly walking up the steps. Their leader got away, All Might said. All Might walked outside and then over to Deku. Good job today, kid, All Might said. The rest of the pro heroes walked out and began talking to the students. I need to talk to you in private, Deku said. All Might and Deku walked around the corner. I met All For One, Deku said. All Might was shocked. No, that's impossible. He's dead, All Might said. It was definitely him. His power was the exact same as mine. All Might's heart fell. Thank you for telling me, kid. Go back with your class. I'm sure there will be questions from the police, All Might said. All Might walked back too, but his head was low. He had failed. End of Chapter 5 and Season 1.